Let me ask you something. As a woman, have you ever felt completely alone? Like no one understands you, no one sees your value, and the world just keeps moving while you stand still? That feeling can be heavy, almost unbearable. But what if I told you it's in that loneliness where your true strength is born? If you allow the opinions of others or the weight of loneliness to define you, you risk losing yourself completely. You risk giving your power away to people who don't deserve it and situations that don't serve you. But if you choose to embrace this season, you could uncover a strength and independence that no one can take away. So the real question is, how do you turn the silence of being friendless into the foundation of a powerful, purpose-driven life? Let's explore that together. Loneliness doesn't mean weakness, it's an opportunity for strength. A friendless woman is not a woman without value. She's a woman who's learning to rely on the most important friend she'll ever have, herself. Learn to embrace solitude. Ladies, let me tell you something powerful. Solitude is not your enemy. Solitude is your strength, your sanctuary, and the foundation of your self-discovery. In a world that celebrates noise, distractions, and the constant pull of relationships, learning to embrace solitude is not just an act of courage, it's an act of self-love. The truth is, society often makes us believe that being alone means being lonely, that solitude is a sign of failure or isolation. But that's a lie. Solitude is not the absence of company, it's the presence of yourself. It's a space where you can think, dream, and grow without interference from the outside world. When you embrace solitude, you embrace the opportunity to connect with your true self in a way no one else can. Now, I won't lie to you. The silence can be uncomfortable at first. When the distractions fade, all those fears, doubts, and insecurities start to surface. But hear me when I say this, that's where the growth happens. Facing yourself in those quiet moments is how you build resilience. It's how you develop the kind of strength that doesn't need external validation to stand tall. Solitude forces you to confront your inner world, and in doing so, you discover the incredible power you hold within. When you spend time alone, you give yourself the space to reflect on your life and your choices. You start to ask the big questions: what do I truly want? What do I value? What am I willing to work for? Solitude allows you to strip away the noise of other people's opinions and focus on what really matters to you. Some of the most successful, confident people you'll ever meet have mastered the art of solitude. Why? Because solitude is where dreams are born. It's where clarity is found. In those quiet moments, you can plan, strategize, and prepare for the life you deserve. Greatness isn't built in the crowd, it's built in the stillness, in the moments when no one else is watching. And ladies, let's talk about boundaries for a minute. Embracing solitude teaches you to set them. It teaches you that it's okay to say no to relationships, commitments, or situations that drain your energy. Solitude gives you the clarity to recognize what's serving you and what's not. When you prioritize time with yourself, you protect your peace and your well-being. You stop giving away pieces of yourself to people who don't appreciate your value. Think about it. How can you truly give to others if you're running on empty? Solitude is where you refill your cup. It's where you recharge your spirit and nurture your dreams. When you embrace solitude, you're not just taking time for yourself, you're investing in your future. Now, solitude isn't about shutting the world out completely. It's not about rejecting relationships or isolating yourself from love and connection. It's about finding balance. It's about knowing that you don't need anyone else to complete you because you are already whole. When you're comfortable being alone, you approach relationships from a place of strength, not dependency. You don't settle for less than you deserve because you know your worth isn't tied to anyone else's opinion of you. And let me tell you something else, solitude is where creativity thrives. When you're not constantly bombarded with external input, your mind has the freedom to explore, to innovate, to dream. Use those quiet moments to journal, to meditate, to create something that brings you joy. Solitude is a gift, not a punishment. But here's the most beautiful part of embracing solitude: it teaches you to fall in love with yourself. It's in those moments of quiet reflection that you begin to see your own strength, your own beauty, your own potential. You realize that you are enough just as you are. And when you carry that kind of self-assurance into the world, you become unstoppable. So don't fear solitude, celebrate it, use it as a time to grow, to heal, to dream. Let it be the space where you reconnect with your purpose and remind yourself of what truly matters. Solitude isn't about being alone, it's about being present with yourself. Ladies, when you learn to embrace solitude, you discover that you're never truly alone. You're standing hand in hand with the most important person in your life, you. And when you can stand strong in your solitude, no storm, no challenge, no loss can break you. Solitude is your foundation. Build on it, grow from it, and let it carry you to the life you've always dreamed of. You're not defined by external validation. Ladies, let me say something straight from the heart. Your worth is not determined by the opinions of others. It's not defined by how many friends you have, how many likes you get on social media, or whether people recognize your efforts. You're not a reflection of someone else's approval. You are a masterpiece all on your own. In this life, it's so easy to fall into the trap of seeking validation from the outside world. We've all been there, haven't we? We dress a certain way, act a certain way, say certain things, not because they feel true to us, but because we want someone else to notice, to approve, to clap for us. But hear me when I say this, the applause from others is temporary. It's fleeting. If you let it define you, you'll always be chasing something you'll never truly hold. True validation, the kind that lasts, comes from within. It comes from knowing who you are and standing firm in that truth no matter what anyone else says. Ladies, your self-worth is not a negotiation. It's not up for debate. It's not something anyone can give you or take away from you. It's already inside you, waiting for you to claim it. When you tie your identity to external validation, you give away your power. You allow the world to dictate how you feel about yourself. If someone praises you, you feel good. If someone criticizes you, you crumble. That's no way to live. Because the reality is, no matter how hard you try, you can't control how other people see you. You can't please everyone. And you know what? You don't need to. Here's the truth. There will always be people who misunderstand you, who underestimate you, who refuse to see your light. But their inability to recognize your greatness doesn't dim it. Their opinions don't define your value. Only you can do that. Instead of chasing external validation, focus on cultivating a strong, unshakable sense of self-worth. Spend time getting to know yourself, your strengths, your passions, your values. Celebrate your progress no matter how small. Acknowledge your resilience. Recognize the beauty in your flaws. The more you affirm yourself, the less you'll need affirmation from others. And let's be honest, when you rely on external validation, you give people the power to control your happiness. You end up living for them instead of for yourself. You make decisions based on what you think they want, not on what feels right to you. But life is too short to live by someone else's script. This is your journey. This is your story. Write it the way you want to. Now, I know this isn't always easy. We're human. We all want to be loved, appreciated, and seen. That's natural. But there's a difference between valuing connection and becoming dependent on it. The key is to find your validation within first. When you're secure in who you are, relationships become an addition to your life, not the foundation of it. Think about the people you admire most. They're not chasing approval. They're walking in their purpose. They're living authentically, unapologetically. That's where their power comes from. And that power, it's in you too. Ladies, let me challenge you today. Stop waiting for someone else to tell you you're enough. Stop measuring your value by someone else's yardstick. You don't need anyone's permission to be great. You don't need anyone's approval to be worthy. You already are. Instead of seeking validation, focus on giving it. Uplift yourself. Look in the mirror and declare, I am enough. I am worthy. I am capable. I am loved. Speak life over yourself. Affirm your dreams, your talents, your strength. Because the words you say to yourself matter more than the words anyone else says to you. And when you let go of the need for external validation, you set yourself free. Free to be who you are. Free to make mistakes and learn from them. Free to walk your path without worrying about what anyone else thinks. That kind of freedom is priceless. So the next time you find yourself seeking someone's approval, pause and ask yourself, do I approve of me? Because that's the only validation that truly matters. The only validation that can carry you through life's ups and downs. Ladies, you are not defined by the world's applause. You're defined by the light that shines from within you. Embrace it. Own it. Let it guide you. Because when you stop looking outside for validation, you discover the incredible power that's been inside you all along. And that, my friends, is where true greatness begins. Friends don't always mean support. Ladies, let's talk about a truth that's hard to swallow. Not everyone in your circle is in your corner. Just because someone calls themselves your friend doesn't mean they're offering you support. Sometimes the people closest to you can be the very ones holding you back, knowingly or unknowingly. We all want friendships that are uplifting, encouraging, and nurturing. But the reality is, not every friendship is built on a foundation of genuine support. Some people are in your life out of convenience, not commitment. Others may be so focused on themselves that they can't or won't be there for you in your times of need. And then there are those who don't truly celebrate your wins. They smile on the surface, but deep down, your success makes them uncomfortable. But let me tell you something, your value is not determined by how many people are in your life. It's determined by the quality of the relationships you choose to nurture. And if you find yourself surrounded by friends who drain your energy, doubt your dreams, or question your worth, it's time to reevaluate what friendship really means to you. True friends don't just show up when it's convenient. They stand with you when the road gets rough. They clap the loudest when you win and sit quietly with you when you lose. They offer support without strings attached, give advice without judgment, and love without conditions. They don't just take from you, they pour into you. But here's the kicker, not everyone in your life will fit that description. And that's okay. Not every friendship is meant to last forever. Some people are there to teach you lessons, to help you grow, or even to show you what you don't want in a relationship. Recognizing this isn't an act of bitterness, it's an act of wisdom. Now, this doesn't mean you should cut ties with every person who doesn't meet your expectations. It's about understanding who adds value to your life and who takes it away. Are your friends building you up, or are they tearing you down? Are they helping you grow, or are they keeping you stagnant? These are tough questions, but they're necessary ones. And let's talk about something important. Support doesn't always look like agreement. A true friend will challenge you when you need it. They'll tell you the hard truths you don't want to hear but need to hear. They'll call you out when you're not living up to your potential because they believe in you. That's real support, not just agreeing with everything you say, but caring enough to hold you accountable. Ladies, let me give you this piece of advice. Don't confuse proximity with loyalty. Just because someone has been in your life for years doesn't mean they're supporting your journey. Just because someone is around doesn't mean they're rooting for you. Sometimes it's the people you least expect who show up for you in the biggest ways. And sometimes it's the people you've counted on the most who let you down. But here's the beauty of it. The moment you stop expecting support from the wrong people, you free yourself to find it in the right places. Maybe that support comes from a smaller circle of true friends. Maybe it comes from mentors, colleagues, or even strangers who believe in your vision. And most importantly, it comes from within. Because at the end of the day, the strongest support system you'll ever have is the one you build for yourself. Ladies, be intentional about the friendships you nurture. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who encourage you to dream bigger, and who remind you of your worth. And don't be afraid to let go of friendships that no longer serve you. It's not selfish, it's necessary. Understand this, your peace is priceless. Your energy is sacred. Don't waste it on people who don't appreciate it. You deserve friendships that uplift you, not ones that weigh you down. And when you find those rare, genuine connections, cherish them, protect them, invest in them. Remember, friends don't always mean support. But that doesn't mean you're alone. It means you have the power to choose the relationships that align with your values, your goals, and your spirit. So choose wisely, choose boldly, and most importantly, choose yourself first. Because when you do that, you'll discover that the people who truly support you, the ones who see your greatness and want to help you reach it, will find their way into your life. And those are the friendships that will stand the test of time. Build a foundation on self-love. Now listen up, I need you to hear me loud and clear. Nobody's going to love you better than you. That's right, nobody. You can't expect the world to give you what you're not willing to give yourself. Too often we're out here looking for validation, for someone else to pour into us to make us feel seen, heard, loved. And while that's nice, it's fleeting. The truth is, the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself. Self-love is not a trend. It's not a self-help mantra you post on social media to get likes. It's a mindset. It's about recognizing your own worth, honoring who you are, and setting the standard for how others should treat you. If you can't look in the mirror and love what you see, how do you expect anyone else to? It's time to build your foundation on self-love. What does that mean? It means investing in yourself, not just financially or physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. It means protecting your peace, prioritizing your needs, and understanding your value regardless of what anyone else thinks or says. When you build that solid foundation of self-love, you become unshakable. No one can take away your confidence. No one can shake your sense of self-worth because you've already given yourself the love you need to stand strong. You start to attract the right energy into your life. You stop seeking validation from people who don't have your best interests at heart. You stop tolerating people who don't see your greatness. Instead, you recognize that your value isn't dependent on anyone else's opinion. I want you to understand that self-love isn't about being perfect. It's not about never making mistakes or having flaws. It's about being okay with who you are in the moment and not needing anyone else to complete you. You are enough. And when you truly embrace that, when you truly stand firm in your own love for yourself, the right people will start to come into your life. The right relationships, the right opportunities, they're drawn to someone who knows their worth. And let me tell you, the journey to self-love starts with respect. Respect for your body. Respect for your mind. Respect for your emotions. You deserve to have people in your life who honor that respect too. That means knowing when to say no, knowing when to walk away from situations that don't serve you, and knowing when to stand firm on your boundaries. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. When you have self-respect, you won't allow anyone to disrespect you. You'll stand tall, knowing that you're deserving of nothing less than what you give to yourself. Building a foundation on self-love also means being your own biggest cheerleader. Too many of us wait for others to give us the applause to acknowledge our achievements. But I need you to understand, don't wait for that. Applaud yourself. Celebrate your wins no matter how small. Celebrate the fact that you're still standing, still fighting, still pushing forward. Because if you can't celebrate yourself, how can you expect others to? Self-love is also about forgiveness. Sometimes we hold on to past hurts, past mistakes, thinking they define us. Let me tell you something, you are not your past. You are not the mistakes you made yesterday. Self-love means forgiving yourself for the things you did, the things you didn't do, and letting go of that baggage. When you forgive yourself, you free yourself. And when you build this foundation of self-love, you stop chasing after validation from the wrong people. You stop looking for external sources to fill you up because you're already full. You're already whole. And when you walk through the world with that mindset, the right people will start to show up. Not people who will take from you, not people who will drain you, but people who will add to your life, who will see you and value you for who you are. Here's the thing, building a foundation on self-love is a lifelong journey. It's not something you can do overnight. It takes time. But I'm telling you, every step you take toward loving yourself more, toward respecting yourself more, is a step toward building a life that's not dependent on the opinions or approval of others. You've got to recognize your own worth before anyone else does. The world will try to tell you that you need validation, that you need to fit in, that you need approval to succeed. But let me tell you this, you've already got everything you need within you. Your value is not determined by your relationship status, by your bank account, or by the number of friends you have. It's determined by how you see yourself, how you treat yourself, and how you stand up for yourself. So today, right now, I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, am I building my foundation on self-love? And if not, that's okay. It's never too late to start. Start small. Start with one positive affirmation about yourself every day. Start by setting a boundary and sticking to it. Start by celebrating every little victory, no matter how small. Start by being kind to yourself. The more you build this foundation, the stronger you'll become. You'll stand tall, knowing that you don't need anyone else's approval to feel worthy, because you've already given that to yourself. And let me tell you, when you operate from a place of self-love, that's when the magic happens. That's when everything changes. So start building today and watch your life transform. Focus on the journey, not the company. Listen, I know sometimes it feels lonely, like the road ahead is long and you're walking it alone. Maybe you look around and see everyone surrounded by their friends, their connections, their circles, and it feels like something is missing, like you're the only one standing on the sidelines. But I want you to hear me loud and clear, the journey is yours. You don't need anyone to validate that. You don't need to wait on someone else to start living your life. You see, in life, we're all on our own path. The world will try to make you believe that your success, your happiness, or your growth depends on the company you keep. But that's a lie. I'm telling you right now, your journey is yours alone, and that's where your power lies. You have the freedom to walk your path the way you choose, at your own pace, in your own time. Let me give you a reality check. There's no one who can live your life for you. Not your family, not your friends, not anyone. It's all on you. And while it's great to have support along the way, it's not required to make progress. If you're waiting on someone to hold your hand, to guide you, to walk alongside you every step of the way, you're selling yourself short. You've got everything you need within you to take that first step. You've got the strength, the will, and the vision to see it through. The truth is, your growth doesn't rely on other people. It relies on your ability to focus on your journey. The world may want you to believe that you need a social circle to be complete, that your success depends on how many friends you have, how many people are watching your every move. But when you start focusing on the journey, on your purpose, your vision, and your goals, you stop caring about the distractions that others bring into your life. When you focus on the journey, you begin to realize something important. The people who truly belong in your life will show up when the time is right. The right people, the ones who align with your purpose, who understand your vision, will be there when you need them. But they will be drawn to the strength you've built on your own, not because you've been waiting around for them to show up. You'll attract the right energy when you focus on moving forward, not when you're looking behind you or around you. I want you to stop thinking that your journey is incomplete without a group of people to walk it with you. If you keep looking around, comparing your life to the people around you, you'll never get anywhere. The journey is not about the company you keep, it's about where you're going and who you're becoming along the way. The people who genuinely care about you will recognize that. They'll see you growing, and they'll want to be part of that growth. But you can't wait for them to show up before you start. Now, let me be clear, this isn't about isolating yourself or shutting people out. But it's about understanding that your value isn't dependent on who's walking beside you. It's about knowing that whether you're alone or surrounded by a crowd, you are on the right path. You are doing what needs to be done to get to where you want to be. And if the people around you aren't part of that, then they're just distractions. The journey is what matters, not the company. Don't let the fear of being alone hold you back. Don't let the pressure of social expectations make you feel like you're missing something. There's power in solitude. There's strength in walking your path independently. When you're focused on the journey, you're not concerned with what others are doing. You're not worried about who's with you or who's not. You're only focused on where you're headed and how you're going to get there. That focus, that commitment to yourself is what will carry you forward. Life is full of distractions, but when you learn to focus on the journey, you stop letting them derail you. You stop comparing your progress to others. You stop measuring your worth by the number of friends you have, the amount of attention you get, or the approval you seek. Your value is not in those things. It's in the work you're putting in, the growth you're experiencing, and the strength you're building every single day. The moment you realize this, the moment you stop looking around and start focusing on what's ahead of you, that's when your life will begin to transform. Your journey will become clearer. Your purpose will become stronger. And the people who truly matter will naturally align with you. But only when you stop looking for them. They'll find you when you're focused on doing the work that matters. So here's what I need you to do. Stop measuring your worth by who's with you. Stop worrying about who's not walking the path with you. Focus on your journey. Focus on your growth. And trust that the right people will show up when the time is right. Keep moving forward. Keep growing. Because when you're focused on the journey, there's nothing that can stop you from reaching your destination. Keep your eyes on the prize and everything else will fall into place. You're never truly alone. I want you to understand something right now. You're never truly alone. You may be sitting there right now feeling like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. You might look around and see other people with their friends, their families, their support systems and think, what's wrong with me? It feels like everyone has someone, but you're standing there on your own, wondering where your place in all of this is. But I'm here to tell you something powerful. Being alone doesn't mean being abandoned. When you find yourself walking this journey without a crowd beside you, don't mistake it for loneliness. That space you feel, that's not emptiness. That's room for growth. That's space for you to discover your true strength. You are not lost just because you're walking solo. In fact, you're stronger than you think. I want you to know that this season of solitude isn't a sign of being forgotten. It's the exact opposite. It's a time for you to find your purpose, sharpen your focus, and get clear on who you are and where you're going. It's in these quiet, still moments that your foundation gets built. Look, the truth is, no one truly stands alone. Life is about the connections we make, and those connections don't always look like what you think. You see, your greatest source of strength in times of solitude comes from within. Your character, your resilience, your passion, it all resides inside of you. You are never fully alone as long as you believe in yourself and trust in your ability to carry yourself through. Because at the end of the day, no matter what happens, you've always got yourself. And don't forget about this, you've got the universe working with you, you've got God, your higher power, your inner strength, whatever you believe in, guiding you and supporting you every single step of the way. Sometimes the world might not seem like it's showing up for you, but trust that there is more going on behind the scenes than you can see. You may not always feel the presence of the people you want beside you, but there's an energy surrounding you that's bigger than anything you can comprehend. It's your faith, your will to keep pushing, your belief in what's to come. Even when it feels like no one's there to help you, I want you to remember that you are never as alone as you think. The love and support you seek doesn't always come in the way you expect. It's there, but it's not always obvious. Sometimes the support comes in the form of lessons, opportunities, or moments of clarity that push you to rise above. And these moments are just as valuable, if not more valuable, than any external validation. Now, let me remind you of something important. It's okay to lean into your solitude. It's okay to take time for yourself. If you don't have a crowd cheering you on right now, then guess what? You're going to learn to cheer for yourself. You're going to find the confidence to stand strong on your own without needing anyone's approval. In fact, the more you lean into who you are, the more people will begin to recognize your strength. You're going to attract the right people into your life, those who see you for who you really are, not just for who you can be when you're surrounded by others. Your value isn't determined by your social circle. It's determined by how you see yourself when nobody else is looking. You may be walking through life right now feeling like you're fighting a battle by yourself. But let me tell you something, there is power in walking alone for a time. It's in those moments that you truly discover who you are. Those late nights when you're up working on yourself, the times when you're questioning your next step, and even the moments when it feels like nothing is moving, those are the moments that prepare you for greatness. That's when you're building something that no one can take from you. You're developing the resilience that will carry you through any storm. Never forget this, you have an inner circle that's more powerful than anything you can see with your eyes. It's your strength, it's your faith, it's your passion, it's your passion. It's your ability to keep moving forward, no matter the obstacles. And while it might feel like you're alone, understand that you are connected to something bigger than yourself. You are connected to a vision, a purpose, a mission that the world is waiting for you to fulfill. And the strength you gain in solitude is the same strength that will propel you into the life you're destined to live. So the next time you feel like you're alone, remember this, you are never alone. Not in your heart, not in your mind, not in your soul. You are connected to your own power, to your faith, to your journey. And as long as you keep walking, you will find that the universe is always conspiring to lead you where you need to go. Keep your head up, stay focused, and trust that you're exactly where you need to be. Because the path you're on, it's leading you straight to your destiny. And that's a journey you're never truly walking alone. Redefine the meaning of friendship. There's more to friendship than what we've been taught to believe. We've all seen those images on social media, those perfect groups of friends, laughing and living life like everything's just falling into place. But I'm here to tell you this, that idea of friendship, that perfect image, isn't the whole truth. And sometimes when you feel like you're standing alone, you have to stop and redefine what it really means to have a friend, to be a friend, and to walk this life with people who truly have your back. First off, let me tell you, friendship doesn't need to be a crowd. Society might have you thinking that if you're not surrounded by people all the time, if you're not part of a big group, something's wrong with you. That's a lie. The real truth is this, you don't need a massive circle to find value in the friendships you do have. You don't need dozens of people around you to have a few real, solid relationships that lift you up and help you become the person you were meant to be. In fact, sometimes less is more. Look, we've all heard the saying, quality over quantity, and when it comes to friendship, this is as true as it gets. It's not about the number of friends you have, it's about the depth of those friendships. Real friends aren't just the ones who show up for the good times. A true friend is someone who stands by you when things get tough, who challenges you to be better, and who supports you without condition. So if you don't have a big group right now, that's okay. What matters is that you start rethinking what friendship means to you and who you want in your life. Here's the deal: you need to surround yourself with people who truly add to your life, not just people who fill the space. We're not just talking about people who say hey or hi to you at work or school. We're talking about those who genuinely care about your well-being, those who ask you how you're doing and mean it, those who listen when you talk about your dreams, your struggles, and your victories. They don't just show up to laugh and have fun, they show up to listen, to learn, and to support you, even in silence. Now, let's get real for a second. You're not always going to have friends around you when you need them, and that's a hard pill to swallow. But that doesn't mean you're without support. It means you need to start recognizing the forms of friendship that don't always come from other people. Sometimes the greatest friend you can have is the one that's inside you, your own determination, your own drive, your own inner strength. You need to be your own friend. You need to be the one who picks yourself up when nobody else is there. You need to be the one who encourages yourself when the world is quiet. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have friends at all. No, that's not it. But I want you to think about this. Friendship is not always about the quantity, but the depth of connection. It's about finding those rare individuals who align with your values, who respect your boundaries, and who push you to be the best version of yourself. Real friends won't just celebrate you when you're winning, they'll help you rise when you're falling. And those kinds of relationships, the ones that are built on trust, loyalty, and mutual growth, they're worth more than any number of superficial friendships you might have. You know what? You don't have to settle for friendships that aren't bringing out the best in you. Don't settle for relationships that are draining you or leaving you feeling more alone than before. A true friend is someone who lifts you up, who respects your worth, and who values you for who you are, not just for what you can give. And if you're not getting that from the people around you, it's time to reevaluate what friendship looks like. But here's the key: don't wait around for others to change. Start by changing how you view friendship. Be willing to invest in the people who invest in you. Be honest with yourself about who's adding value to your life and who's taking it away. It might hurt at first, but you need to let go of the relationships that aren't serving you. Set boundaries, make space for real friends, and more importantly, make space for your own growth and self-love. Here's what happens when you redefine friendship: you start attracting the kind of people who will support your dreams and help you build the future you want. You start surrounding yourself with those who challenge you, who love you for who you are, and who encourage you to rise to your fullest potential. When you stop seeking approval from others and start living for yourself, you'll find that true friendships find their way into your life naturally. And let me tell you this: when you redefine the meaning of friendship, you're not just changing how you relate to others, you're changing how you relate to yourself. You're learning to be your own best friend, your own biggest supporter, and your own source of strength. So, if you feel like you're walking through life without the company of many friends, don't look at it as a bad thing. Look at it as a time for reflection, a time for growth, and a time for you to find the quality friendships that will help you rise higher. You are worthy of friendships that value you, and more importantly, you are worthy of a relationship with yourself that's rooted in self-love, respect, and strength. Reframe your idea of friendship. When you do, you'll start to see that the right people, those who matter most, will always find their way into your life. Discover the power of self-reliance. You know, life can be tough. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. There are moments when you'll find yourself standing alone, when you'll feel like you've got no one to turn to, and the weight of the world is on your shoulders. And let me tell you something: that's okay. Because there is immense power in learning to rely on yourself. When you stand alone, you're not weak, you're not lost, you're learning how to be self-reliant. And that, my friend, is a strength that most people overlook until they really need it. Now, let's talk about what self-reliance really is. Self-reliance is not about shutting people out of your life or rejecting help when it's offered. It's about having the inner strength to stand tall, to make your own decisions, to carve your own path, and to trust in your ability to figure things out. It's about knowing that even in your darkest moments, you have the resources inside of you to rise up and keep moving forward. You know, life will test you, and there will be times when friends aren't there, when family is distant, when it feels like nobody's got your back. That's when you'll feel the full weight of self-reliance. But here's the truth: self-reliance is not about being alone, it's about finding power within your own mind and heart. to get through life's challenges. It's about becoming your own support system. You don't have to wait for others to validate you, to fix your problems, or to pick you up. You've got everything inside of you to handle it. And once you discover that, you will become unstoppable. Look, when we rely too heavily on others, we give away our power. We give them control over our happiness, over our peace, over how we move in the world. But when you embrace self-reliance, you take back that power. You say, I don't need to wait for anyone to save me. I've got the tools to save myself. That's when things start to shift. That's when you truly tap into your potential. And here's what you need to understand: being self-reliant doesn't mean you have to do everything alone. No, that's not the point. What it means is that you don't rely on others for your sense of purpose or happiness. You create your own purpose, you build your own happiness, you find peace within yourself, and know that you're capable of anything you set your mind to. If you're waiting around for people to fix your life, you're never going to move forward. You've got to take the reins. When you stop waiting for others to make your life better, you start making your life better yourself. There's a strength that comes from knowing that the decisions you make are your own. That means taking responsibility for the choices you make and the outcomes that come with them. Don't blame others for your circumstances. Even if things don't go the way you want it, own it. Because when you own your life, you empower yourself to change it. You become the author of your own story. You get to decide how the chapters unfold. This is where self-reliance becomes truly powerful. It gives you the freedom to live life on your own terms. You're not stuck waiting for permission from others. You don't need validation or approval to go after what you want. You take the action, you take the risk, and you get up every single time life knocks you down. Self-reliance is not about being perfect. It's about being willing to keep going no matter what. But let me tell you, it's not easy. It's not always going to feel comfortable. There will be days when you doubt yourself. There will be moments when you want to give up. But those moments, those are the tests. That's where you find your strength. That's where you realize that you are your own best friend, your own greatest motivator, and you don't need anyone else to validate that. The only validation you need is the one you give yourself. I know it's hard to feel like you're walking alone, but listen to me, you are not truly alone. When you rely on yourself, you discover a strength you never knew you had. You become your own anchor. You build resilience. You learn that even when it feels like the whole world is against you, you can stand strong because you've built that inner foundation. Let me tell you, the moment you start believing in your own strength, when you stop depending on external sources for your happiness, your validation, your sense of worth, that's when your life will change. You'll start making choices that reflect your true value. You'll stop tolerating anything less than what you deserve. You won't wait around for others to fix your problems because you know you've got the strength to solve them yourself. I want you to remember this: self-reliance isn't about being prideful or shutting others out. It's about standing in your own power. It's about becoming so confident in your own abilities that you don't need to lean on anyone else to determine your worth. You are enough. You've got everything you need inside of you to succeed. Trust yourself. Believe in yourself. And remember, the greatest strength you can ever have is the ability to rely on yourself, no matter what life throws at you. When you do that, you become unstoppable. Your time alone is a time for mastery. There's a lot of strength in being alone, and it's not something to run away from. If you find yourself alone, don't think of it as a curse. Think of it as an opportunity. Your time alone is not just time for reflection, it's time for growth, for development, for mastery. Now, I know when you're by yourself, it's easy to get caught up in loneliness and the idea that something's missing. But here's the truth: solitude is not your enemy. It's your secret weapon. And the sooner you embrace it, the sooner you'll realize what it can do for you. It's in those quiet moments when there's no one around to distract you that you can do the real work on yourself, work on your goals, and work on mastering your craft. Too many people spend their time alone wishing they had others around them to make them feel validated, to give them a sense of purpose. But let me tell you something: nobody can give you your purpose. Only you can do that. And when you're alone, that's when you can tap into the deepest parts of who you are. You've got the time and space to really figure out what you want in life, to focus on your strengths, and to work on your weaknesses. Let's talk about mastery for a moment. To master something, whether it's a skill, a craft, or even mastering your own mindset, requires focus, discipline, and a willingness to put in the hard work. And guess what? Solitude is the perfect environment for that. When you're alone, you're free from distractions, you're free from external opinions, and most importantly, you're free from the noise. It's just you and your ambitions, and that's all you need. But here's the thing, you can't waste your time. Mastery doesn't happen overnight. It's not something you can rush. It takes time and it takes consistency. And if you're waiting for someone else to make you feel like you're on the right path, you're already doing yourself a disservice. You are your best teacher. Your time alone is a chance to learn from your own experiences, to study the things that matter to you, and to sharpen your skills. You don't need anyone else to tell you when you're ready. You'll know it by the results you create in your life. Think about the greats. Whether it's athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, or anyone who's truly mastered their field, they didn't get there by waiting for others. They didn't wait for the perfect moment, the perfect company, or the perfect conditions. They took the time when they were alone to focus on their craft, to push themselves, and to grind. Your time alone is no different. It's an opportunity for you to work on your vision, your future, and your success without the distractions of the outside world. Now, I want you to think about the potential you have inside of you. You're capable of greatness, but to reach that greatness, you've got to put in the work. You've got to push through the loneliness, the self-doubt, and the distractions and commit to becoming the best version of yourself. And that's where the beauty of solitude comes in. It gives you the space to go deeper, to think harder, and to build resilience. It's in the quiet moments that you grow the most. When you're not worried about impressing others or trying to fit in, you can dig deep into what truly matters to you. You can start learning, reading, training, practicing, and honing your skills. The more you put in, the more you'll get out. But here's the real secret to mastery. It's not just about what you do when you're alone. It's about how you approach your time alone. When you embrace your solitude, you make a choice. You choose to use your time to grow, not to waste it feeling sorry for yourself or lamenting what you don't have. You choose to grow, to build, and to get better. You understand that this time is precious and you're not going to let it slip by. Don't let the world convince you that being alone is a weakness. It's not. Being alone is one of the most powerful things you can experience. It allows you to reconnect with your purpose, to redefine who you are, and to focus on the journey of mastery that you're on. You can use that time to become the person you were meant to be, to sharpen your skills, to grow your knowledge, and to prepare for the moment when you're ready to take on the world. And let me tell you something, you won't always be alone. But when you do get that time, make it count. You've got dreams to chase, goals to crush, and a life to build. Don't waste a single moment of it. Use your time alone to master yourself, your craft, your ambitions, and your future. So if you find yourself alone today, don't see it as a setback. See it as an opportunity to embrace your potential, your purpose, and your path to mastery. It's all in your hands. Create your own circle of empowerment. You don't have to wait for someone else to empower you. If you're feeling like you don't have the support system you need, don't just sit there waiting for someone to step up. You have the power to create your own circle of empowerment. See, in life, we often think we need to be surrounded by people to feel strong, to feel validated, to feel seen. And while we all need some level of connection and support, I need you to understand this true empowerment comes from within. And sometimes the best way to grow is to build your own circle, one where you're the driving force, one that uplifts you, and one that empowers you to be the best version of yourself. Here's the reality: you don't need a whole crowd to move forward. What you need are the right people, the right energy, and the right mindset. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. And it's about having people who support your vision, who push you, who believe in you, and who challenge you to be better every day. Now, when I say create your own circle, I don't mean you should isolate yourself or shut people out. That's not what we're talking about here. What I mean is that you should actively seek out people who bring out the best in you. You need a circle that nurtures your growth, that helps you rise above your challenges, and that encourages you to dream bigger and act bolder. Start with yourself. The first step in creating a circle of empowerment is to empower yourself. You've got to recognize your own worth, your potential, and the greatness within you. This starts with developing a strong relationship with yourself. When you know who you are and what you're capable of, you won't be easily swayed by negativity, doubt, or criticism. You'll have the inner strength to face challenges head-on and keep pushing forward. Next, identify the kind of people you want in your life. Who do you want around you? Who's going to bring out your best? Think about the qualities you admire in others, those who are driven, those who uplift, those who genuinely want to see you win. Surround yourself with people who are on the same mission, people who inspire you to level up, to be better, to go after your dreams without hesitation. Your circle should be filled with people who push you, not hold you back. And I know sometimes you might feel like you don't have that kind of support system around you right now, but remember this, you don't need 1,000 people. A few solid people can change your entire life. It's not about having a huge group of friends, it's about having people who can challenge you, hold you accountable, and support your growth. People who won't let you settle for anything less than your best. That's the power of a true support system. You see, there's something powerful about surrounding yourself with people who believe in your vision, people who remind you of who you are on tough days. They encourage you to keep going when the road gets rough, and they celebrate your wins when you reach those milestones. These are the people who will lift you up and help you rise higher than you ever thought possible. But don't forget this, you have to be the type of person who builds others up as well. Empowerment isn't a one-way street. You've got to pour into others just as much as you pour into yourself. When you help others rise, when you encourage them to chase their dreams, you're creating a positive cycle of growth, support, and empowerment. You lead by example. Now, I know it's easy to get discouraged when you feel like you don't have the right people in your life, but let me tell you something, the right people are out there, waiting for you to find them. You might have to take the first step. You might have to put yourself out there and be open to new connections. But trust me, those who align with your values, your mission, and your goals will find their way to you, and when they do, you'll know it's the right fit. But don't wait around for them to show up. Start with you. Empower yourself first. Develop your skills, your mindset, and your character. When you invest in yourself, you become the type of person who attracts like-minded individuals who want to see you succeed. Building your circle of empowerment is an ongoing process. It's about continually surrounding yourself with people who believe in your vision and who make you better, while also being that same source of strength for others. And as you build your circle, you'll realize that your journey becomes so much more powerful. You'll begin to see that the people who truly matter in your life are those who challenge you, who support you, and who push you to reach higher. So remember this, you don't need to rely on anyone else for your strength. You have it inside of you. But when you create your own circle of empowerment, you have a support system that helps you become the best version of yourself. Start today. Invest in yourself. Surround yourself with greatness and watch as your life transforms. Now, I want to hear from you. How have you turned difficult moments of isolation into opportunities for growth? Share your story in the comments below. Your journey might just inspire someone else to keep going. And before you go, click on the next video right here. It's all about how showing too much kindness can destroy your life. If you're ready to take the next step in your journey, you don't want to miss it. See you there.